Shortly after the start of school, my roommate joined a cycling team of rich second-generation people and rode until midnight every day before returning to the dormitory. She asked us mysteriously, "The captain wants me to participate in a nude cycling activity in the wild. Do you think I should go?" I was greatly shocked and quickly advised her not to go at all. Otherwise, there would be no way to deal with it if she was bullied. Under my repeated persuasion, my roommate gave up the nude cycling activity. Later, another girl in the cycling team had a high-profile relationship with the captain. My roommate was so angry that she pushed me down the stairs and I died. It's all your fault for ruining my good thing. Otherwise, it would be me who marries into a wealthy family. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day when my roommate was hesitating about whether to participate in the nude cycling activity. I nodded firmly. "If you want to go, go boldly and naturally. Tell me, should I participate in that activity?" Vivian's coy voice came into my ears. I couldn't help but be in a trance for a moment. "Of course you can't go. Are you crazy? This is a nude cycling day. At first glance, it doesn't have good intentions. Yes. Moreover, it's in the wilderness. What if something happens?" Hearing the words of the other two roommates, who spared no effort to persuade Vivian, an unbelievable thought emerged in my mind. Could it be that I was really reborn? "Arya, what do you think?" Vivian looked at me hesitantly. "Aren't you also into cycling? How can it be so chaotic? Right? There is no distinction between men and women in sports. You people are all dirty-minded and see everything as dirty. The captain clearly wants us to break through the limitations of men and women and truly enjoy cycling. Tell me, what choice should I make?" Hearing Vivian's words to me, my eyes flickered. In my previous life, I firmly advised him not to go and play nude cycling. It was too dangerous. Serious cycling would never play such messy things. Those who can come up with such a weird idea obviously don't have good intentions. Luring girls to the wilderness. Who knows what terrible things will happen? After hearing my analysis, Vivian couldn't help but be afraid. Finally, she hesitantly refused the captain's proposal. I thought I was kind-hearted and saved her life. But who knew that after this ungrateful thing learned that Jason was in a relationship with other female team members? She actually pushed me down the stairs and I died. Only she would regard such a wretched man who flirts with every girl he sees and pretends to be a rich second-generation person and shows off as a treasure. Since she and that wretched man are of the same kind. In this life, I might as well help her. Thinking of this, I said to her with a smile, "The cycling circle of our club is indeed very proper, and never plays any messy games. But I believe in Vivian's vision. Since you think they don't have any wretched thoughts, then you can participate boldly and naturally." After getting my affirmation, Vivian immediately beamed with joy. "Look, Arya said it's a proper activity. Sure enough, it's just the two of you who are dirty-minded." The other two roommates advised her with good intentions but were sarcastically criticized like this. Immediately, they were so angry that their faces turned green. "Okay, it's our meddling. If something happens, it's your own fault." Vivian snorted coldly and ignored those two people. Instead, she turned and hugged me affectionately. "Arya, what should I wear for wild cycling? I am indeed like Vivian and both into cycling. But I joined the proper cycling club in the school." While she participated in a cycling team privately organized by a group of rich second-generation people in the school. At that time, I advised her to go to the club interview with me. She said she was not interested in this kind of sport. But then she joined a private cycling team. I also have an impression of Jason, the captain of the cycling team. According to the senior sisters in the club, he is a wretched man. Whenever a girl comes to the club, he will harass and flirt with her. Because he didn't correct his mistakes despite repeated admonitions, he was directly expelled from the club. Now I don't know how he suddenly became the so-called captain of the rich second-generation cycling team. I once subtly reminded Vivian. But Vivian had an attitude that I was just jealous of her being able to enter the private rich second-generation cycling team. So I slandered him. Seeing this, I didn't persuade her anymore. The activities of this so-called second-generation cycling team are ridiculously numerous. Vivian almost rides until very late every night before returning to the dormitory. At that time, the dormitory had already closed. Vivian begged and flattered for this and gave the dormitory aunt a lot of benefits privately. Before, I thought Vivian really loved cycling deeply. Now I understand that she is not for cycling at all. Clearly, she is for seducing those rich second-generation people in the team. Tonight, the club is holding a cycling activity. When I arrived at the gathering place and took a look, I found that the members of the rich second-generation cycling team were also there. Jason leered at the figures of the female cycling team members one by one before saying with a smile, "Since we've met, let's all do activities together tonight." Leo is 1 grade younger than Jason and can't refuse. He can only nod in agreement. The club members already knew what kind of person Jason was. They pedaled their bicycles very fast along the way. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared in front of Jason. I fell behind to watch the show and was directly targeted by Jason. "Oh, Arya. When the senior invited you to our cycling team, you didn't come. The senior thought you didn't like cycling. Unexpectedly, you secretly joined the school's cycling club behind the senior's back. Why? Do you have any opinions about the senior?" With an oily tone and a questioning attitude. It seems as if I committed a great crime by refusing to join the private cycling team and choosing to participate in a proper club. His gaze at me made me feel extremely offended. I quickly diverted the trouble. "Didn't Vivian from our dormitory join the senior cycling team? I think Joey seems to be having a hard time riding. As the captain, senior, you should care more about the team members." Vivian may have understood my hint. Immediately, she let out a choreographer's gasp and stopped the bike suddenly. "Captain." Vivian sprained her foot. She looked up at Jason pitifully. Jason's gaze finally fell from me to Vivian. He walked up to Vivian and directly touched Vivian's calf. "What's wrong? Where is it sprained? Let the captain take a look." Vivian was not shy either and directly put her foot between his legs. "It's just a sprained ankle." "Ouch. It hurts when touched. What should I do?" "Captain? Vivian may not be able to ride a bike today." Jason subconsciously glanced at me. I shrugged to show that I couldn't help. "Otherwise, senior, you can take Vivian with you. Anyway, you are the captain. Taking care of the team members is also your responsibility." "Yes, captain." "Then Vivian will trouble you." Vivian immediately took the opportunity. Although Vivian is not very beautiful, she is very good at dressing up. After putting on makeup, she can barely be considered a little beauty. With a beauty throwing herself into his arms, Jason naturally wouldn't refuse. Seeing Vivian deliberately pressing her chest tightly against Jason's back and her hands seemed to be inadvertently placed between Jason's legs, I couldn't help but sigh. Vivian is really bold. With Jason's pig-like face and figure, she can still be interested. After a while, I noticed that Vivian was constantly rubbing against Jason's back, and Jason's cycling speed was getting slower and slower. "Arya, you go first. It seems that there is something wrong with my bike." Jason's thick and suppressed excited voice came from beside me. I looked at them in surprise. Both of them had flushed faces. A ridiculous thought rose in my heart. But then I thought, one of these two people can organize a nude cycling activity, and the other readily agreed to participate in nude cycling. What good things can they be? Afraid of seeing something that would make my eyes sore, I didn't look back and directly stood up and pedaled my bicycle very fast. Soon I caught up with the members of the club in front and a small number of members of the private cycling team. "Arya, why are you so slow today?" Leo asked casually. My eyes rolled and I quickly said, "There is something wrong with both Jason's and Vivian's bikes. I was waiting for them just now. So I was so slow. The two of them were embarrassed to delay me, so they let me go ahead first. But I think we all came out together. Now it's getting dark. If they are left behind alone, what if something happens?" When Leo heard this, He also frowned. As the organizer of this cycling activity, he certainly had to be responsible for the safety of all members. Although the people from the private cycling team followed shamelessly, he couldn't completely ignore them. You and the other members go ahead. I'll take a few boys back to see how Jason and them are doing, I said with a smile. If we are going back, let's all go back together. Why should people from one team be divided into two groups? The other members of the club also nodded in agreement. That's right. We are all out to play, and there is no rush. Let's go back and take a look together. Everyone agreed. Leo had to take all of us back. When approaching a dim section without street lights, an exaggerated woman's scream came into the ears of all of us. Damn it. Could it be that we encountered a pervert molesting a girl? Everyone is a group of young and energetic college students. At a time when their sense of justice is the strongest, they rush in without hesitation when encountering such a thing. Pervert. Let go of that girl. As if hearing the menacing footsteps. In addition to the woman's panic screams, there was also a man's grumbling. I took out a strong flashlight and directly pressed the switch. In an instant, the whole street was lit up. In the middle of the beam, Vivian and Jason were like the male and female protagonists in a play, appearing under the gaze of everyone. Jason's face was in a mess. He was holding his loose pants with both hands. Vivian's pants had a big tear. The cracks started to spread from her thigh. Under the illumination of the strong flashlight, her extremely ashamed and indignant expression was nowhere to hide. The air suddenly became quiet. The boys who had rushed up aggressively to beat up the pervert, just now also retreated in embarrassed lie. Why are you all here? Don't misunderstand. Vivian fell off the bike and tore her pants. Just now I wanted to sew her pants for her. The others remained silent to Jason's perfunctory excuse. Only I asked with concern. Vivian, are you okay? How did you fall so badly that your pants are torn? Vivian gave me a fierce glare. Who told you to turn on the flashlight? Are you doing it on purpose? I felt a bit wronged. I opened my mouth but didn't defend myself. I just murmured, I'm sorry, although I was saying sorry. There was a proud smile on my face. You little bitch. You are doing it on purpose. Vivian was extremely angry and wished she could rush up and hit me. That's enough. Leo stood in front of me. You are really ungrateful. Arya was clearly worried about you guys having an accident. Who knew you would do such a disgusting thing on the street? Although Vivian is arrogant and domineering in the dormitory, she has always created a good image in front of boys. At this time, being so obviously despised by Leo and seeing the contemptuous gazes of other boys around, she suddenly couldn't bear it. You are all ganging up to bully Vivian. She stomped her foot hard, turned around and rode Jason's bicycle and ran away, not even caring to cover the gap in her lower body. When I returned to the dormitory slowly, Vivian was still hiding on her bed and crying. Two roommates gave me a look. One of them took out her phone and said to me, Arya, see if you have offended someone. Someone is anonymously slandering you online for stealing someone else's boyfriend. I picked up my phone and looked. It was more than 10 o'clock at night. It was just the beginning of college students' nightlife. And there were countless night owls. A post on the school forum was pushed to the top and people were constantly replying. Anonymous netizen, can everyone help me? There is a green tea bitch junior in the club. When cycling, she deliberately wore super short pants to seduce my boyfriend. This junior is a freshman this year. I heard that she was elected as some kind of school beauty during military training. She looks gentle on the outside. But in fact, she is very scheming. As soon as she entered the club, she was flirting with many seniors. I also heard that she often doesn't return to the dormitory at night and goes to open a room with different men. If it's just a chaotic private life, I can't control it after all. But when she clearly knows that my boyfriend has a partner, she still deliberately dresses very revealing lie to seduce him. Woo woo. Please help me. What should I do? All the boys in the club are on her side. My boyfriend also scolded me for being too narrow-minded. Could it really be that I'm overthinking? A very persuasive and pitiful speech technique attracted countless people's support. What a good green tea bitch. She clearly knows that others have girlfriends but still actively seduces. She is really shameless. Miss. You are not overthinking at all. That pair of dogs and men definitely have problems. Am I the only one who thinks that the poster's words are very pointed? Is the green tea bitch she mentioned the one I imagined? It's unlikely. Right. Me too. As soon as I heard this passage, a person's appearance came to mind. A freshman. School beauty. And also joined the cycling club. Except for that Arya. There seems to be no one else. Right. Arya is actually a mistress? My roommate was furious. This person is sick. She just slanders as soon as she opens her mouth. Arya. Don't be afraid. I'll help you fight back. I stopped her. No need. I'll do it myself. I looked up and glanced at Vivian, who was peeking at me through the curtain gap. Then I logged into my account and replied to that anonymous poster. Arya, I dare to deny what you said in my real name. Do you dare to come out and condemn me in your real name? What kind of thing is it to hide and not show your identity? In the future, can you just slander casually by hiding behind the internet? Whose boyfriend did I seduce? Do you dare to reply to me? Seeing me show up in person, the heat of the post became even greater. Wow. The person involved shows up. Where is the poster? Come out and confront each other. Are you afraid? The anonymous poster didn't dare to show up. Annoyed by being by alumni in the comment area, she came out and said vaguely, "You know it yourself." But her words were quickly slapped in the face. First, Leo from the cycling club showed up. Don't mess around. Arya is the recruitment sign of our cycling club. She gets along very well with the girls in the club and is very proper in getting along with the boys. Don't just slander without thinking. Other members of the club also showed up in their real names to testify for me. Members who have girlfriends all asked their partners to come forward and prove that the poster is not themselves. Finally, my two roommates rolled up their sleeves and started yelling at the poster. Are you crazy? Arya goes back to the dormitory with us every day. As her roommate, how come I don't know that she often doesn't return to the dormitory? It's so disgusting. If you have the ability, don't be anonymous. Apologize to our Arya immediately. Otherwise we will sue you for slander and defamation. After waiting for a while, my roommate cursed. Damn it. It's so disgusting. I should have taken screenshots for evidence earlier. I shook my head inferently. Don't worry. There are ways to find her. The next day was the weekend. Jason didn't know where he got my contact information and sent me a message. What happened last night was all a misunderstanding. But anyway, I should also thank you for coming back to find us, especially yesterday. I arranged a wild cycling and camping trip on the weekend. I'll cover all the expenses. Beautiful lady. Give me some face and play together. I refused without hesitation. After a while, Vivian's phone rang. I heard her say in surprise, "Why did the captain call me?" Later, not knowing what she heard, her face became ugly, and she also gave me an envious look. After hanging up the phone, she walked up to me and forced an ugly smile. Arya, I was wrong yesterday. I apologize to you. The captain expresses his gratitude and specially arranges an activity. You know I haven't gone out to play for a long time. Just accompany me. Looking at her clearly being extremely angry but still shamelessly acting coquette with me, I couldn't help feeling in a good mood. After she said a lot of flattering words to please me and her mouth was almost dry, I finally nodded and agreed. Okay. I want to see what tricks they are up to. Before evening, we arrived at the camping place. Along the way, Jason behaved very normally, as if he really just wanted to thank me. Until night. Vivian used to like to watch TV on my computer, so there is her WeChat login record on my phone. I brought my laptop specially this time, when she didn't notice. I logged into her WeChat on my laptop. What Vivian and Jason were plotting was directly transmitted to my laptop. I saw that in a group named Free Cycling. Jason sent a message. Jason, the most important thing about this activity is to pursue a tense and exciting atmosphere. Activity rules. For accommodation at night. 1 man and 1 woman in 1 tent. Men and women draw lots. The room allocation is completely determined by drawing lots. You can't change people or go back on your word. Everyone must participate to have fun. As soon as the message came out, the group exploded immediately. Countless boys sent lewd emoticons and replied, "Received." Vivian also sent a shy emoticon. Vivian, who wants to exercise with Vivian? Several girls in the group praised doubts and seemed not to want to participate in this kind of activity. They were immediately attacked by everyone. A group of boys came out and took turns brainwashing. It's just a game. Don't be so disappointing. Oh. What's the big deal? Every circle plays like this. You are too inexperienced. Don't think we are taking advantage of you? We rich second-generation people don't lack any women. If we have fun, maybe we can make you our girlfriends. Under a lot of brainwashing and accusations, the girls who originally protested seemed to be persuaded. Soon, the private chat between Jason and Vivian rang. Jason, Vivian. You must let me successfully sleep with Arya tonight. As long as this is done, I can consider making you my girlfriend. Vivian, after you sleep with that little bitch Arya. Captain, don't forget me. Jason, don't worry. After sleeping with her, I'll sleep with you lewd. Vivian, hate it. I shivered hard. These 2 people are taking me as a part of their play. When eating barbecue at night, Vivian and Jason kept pouring me alcohol. I just said that I was allergic to alcohol. The others at the table booed and all said lewdly, "Beautiful lady. Give us some face. Are you not giving face to Brother Zhu? What's wrong with just 1 drink?" I directly took out my phone and recorded. Okay. Everyone say a word to persuade me to drink. I'll save it. If something happens to me after I drink, no one can run away. Everyone's faces turned green immediately. After that, no one persuaded me to drink anymore. When returning to the tent, I noticed that Jason and Vivian looked at each other. I sneered. I'm not afraid of you coming, but I'm afraid of you not coming. Vivian entered my tent and insisted on sleeping with me. I directly said, "Get out," worried that being too persistent would arouse my suspicion. Vivian finally had to leave the tent with a black face. Because it was a place found temporarily, there were many other campers not far away. The people in the cycling team didn't dare to be too blatant. They just waited until late at night when it was quiet to start messing around. After everyone entered the tent, I came out of the tent and went to the camping place on the other side. There were 2 obviously college students camping. I said to them embarrassed lie. "It's next to the river above. The sound is too loud. Can I exchange tents with you?" The 2 boys blushed as soon as they saw me, and nodded hesitantly. So, I directly changed to the downstream and lay comfortably in the tent. In the middle of the night, an angry curse woke me up. Other campers were also woken up, worried about what had happened. Everyone got up and walked upstream. As soon as they approached upstream, they saw 2 male students who had exchanged tents with me beating a naked exposed man. Pervert. How dare you touch me? I'll beat you to death. Jason was beaten so that his fat all over his body trembled. He kept wailing. Don't hit me anymore. Don't hit me anymore. I entered the wrong tent. I thought it was my girlfriend. But the 2 boys who were disgusted didn't care about his reason. They beat him black and blue before stopping. After everyone left, Vivi dared to come forward and care about Jason. As soon as she walked up to him, Jason directly slapped her. Useless. Vivi dared not be angry, but could only grit her molars and ask me, "Arya, why aren't you sleeping in this tent?" I looked innocent. "It's too noisy here. So I changed to another place." "But, isn't your tent next to mine? Why did you run over from the other side just now?" For a moment, panic flashed across Vivian's face. She mumbled and perfunctorily passed it. Because of the incident of Jason being beaten, others also lost the mood to continue the game. A good activity could only end halfway like this. But I didn't intend to let them go so easily. I spent money to find a computer expert, and directly hacked into Vivian's phone. Using her own account, I posted a screenshot of the activity message from the cycling group. And it was accompanied by the text, "Free cycling. A wonderful night. Relying on makeup." Vivian is also half a small internet celebrity in the school. A number of followers of her account is not small. As soon as this post was sent out, those fans who followed her were all stunned. Because the content was so outrageous. Soon, countless alumni swarmed to watch. 666. Ugly but playful. The cycling circle is stunk up by you rotten people. So disgusting. Get out of the cycling circle. Wronged. We serious cyclists really don't do such disgusting things. This is obviously a group of people with no moral values messing around under the guise of cycling. Didn't Vivian also say that she is single forever and has a man-hating persona? But in private, she plays so wildly. Ah! Vivian's angry scream came from above the dormitory. A roommate who was huddling in front of me and sharing gossip with me immediately sat back in her seat and started reciting guiltily. Abandon. Abandon. Vivian didn't care about her at all. At this time, saving her precarious image was the most important thing. She hurriedly jumped out of bed and started to put on pseudo-natural makeup. On her phone, that post quickly became a 404. Then, Vivian's clarification video appeared. The voice in the video overlapped with Vivian's pitiful and tragic voice in reality. Woo woo. I don't know if I have touched someone's cake. How could someone slander me like this? The members of the cycling team are like a family. Everyone is just joking. It was actually taken out and slandered by people with ulterior motives by cutting off the beginning and end. I hope everyone can have a discerning eye and not be led by malicious people to cyberbully innocent victims. In the video, she looked very pitiful. After her tragic video, the heat of this matter finally slowly subsided. But her originally established single and man-hating persona also completely collapsed. And the number of followers of her account rapidly decreased. Seeing that the opportunity for monetization was gone, Vivian was so angry that she couldn't sleep well and didn't even go cycling much. After that previous incident, perhaps fearing that something would be uncovered, she actually directly quit the cycling team. I asked indirectly, "Vivian, why haven't you gone cycling recently?" "Forget it. Just going out to play casually is slandered like this. If I go out to play nude cycling, I don't know what disgusting words those trash who have no knowledge and are dirty-minded will say." She was so scared by this that she didn't dare to participate in the nude cycling activity. I rolled my eyes. This won't do. This weekend is the start time of the nude cycling activity. Since I have agreed, there is no reason to quit halfway. To help Vivian rebuild her determination to participate in the nude cycling activity, I began to show off wealth intentionally or unintentionally in front of Vivian. "Aria, don't you have little money either? Why can you afford a luxury bag?" Vivian asked sourly. I gave a shy smile. "As you know, Jason has been chasing me. Rich second-generation people are different. The gifts he gives casually are worth several months of our living expenses." "From Jason?" Vivian's face didn't look good. As if I didn't see it. I showed off on my own. "Yes. He also said that if he becomes his girlfriend, he will directly give his girlfriend a luxury car. It's a pity that he is a bit ugly." I'm so conflicted. "Vivian, do you think I should accept his pursuit?" Greed flashed in Vivian's eyes. "Of course you can't accept it. Jason is so ugly. Arya, a great beauty like you can definitely find a tall, rich and handsome man. Why wrong yourself?" "Really? I'll see his performance again. If he can insist on bringing me breakfast every day for a week, I'll get in touch with him." Out of the corner of my eye, I saw that Vivian seemed to have made a decision and took out her phone to reapply to join the cycling team. I gently curved my lips and smiled. On the weekend, while other roommates were still sleeping soundly, Vivian got up quietly. I looked down and actually saw her take off her underwear and put on a sports bra and a miniskirt in a vacuum. Vivian, what are you doing? My sudden voice startled Vivian. I'm going out for morning jogging. Okay. Then see if Jason has brought breakfast this morning for me. Vivian's expression became even more guilty. She lowered her head, mumbled twice perfunctorily, and then quickly opened the door and ran away. After she left, I also got up from the bed. Leisurely, I went to the cafeteria to have breakfast, and then opened the live broadcast and greeted the audience in the live broadcast room. The weather is very good today. I decided to do an outdoor cycling live broadcast. After arriving at the place, I will start sketching. In my previous life, a nude cycling activity was also photographed by passers-by who encountered it and posted online, attracting some attention. But because the photographer was kind-hearted and coded it, no one found out who exactly was in the nude cycling. I happened to see this video at that time and comforted Vivian with the video. Fortunately, you didn't go. Otherwise, you would be photographed and posted online. Now, I will be the one who takes the video and posts it online. Because I knew the route, I rode very leisurely along the way and chatted with the audience in the live broadcast room from time to time. After finding the wild jungle where it was posted at that time, I stopped and started painting. The camera ends of my phone was aimed at the roadside. While chatting, the number of barrage in the live broadcast room suddenly increased dramatically. Damn it! Am I blind? Nude cycling? It seems to be really naked. Of course, there are more people who love to watch the excitement and desperately urge me to follow. Anchor, come closer. I can't see clearly. Spreading pornographic and vulgar content in the live broadcast room is illegal. Of course, I'm not so stupid. I just kept my head down and painted my own painting, pretending not to see a group of naked cyclists on the roadside. It's very quiet here and there is no one. Why don't we stay here? A faint voice came into my ears. I was a little curious. I stood up outside the camera and looked. I actually saw this group of people walking towards the grass where I was. At this time, the barrage in the live broadcast room was rolling crazily. Anchor, run. You have encountered perverts. Don't draw anymore. What if such a beautiful woman is seen by a group of perverted men? Does anyone know where this is? Call the police quickly. Called the police. The police will arrive soon. I subconsciously prepared to take out my phone to call the police. I saw that this group of people stopped more than 20 meters away from me. I couldn't help but be glad that I was nearsighted. Looking at people automatically superimposed mosaics. They found an open and spacious place and sat down. I thought they were tired from riding and were going to rest. Who knew that Vivian suddenly sat naked on Jason? Then, the two started piston movement as if no one was around. The behavior of the two seemed to turn on some switch. A group of more than 10 people all hugged in twos and threes. I even saw 3 men stacked together in the shape of. I was stunned. The paintbrush was directly scared off. The barrage covered the entire phone screen. The whole screen was full of, I'm blind. Anchor. Return my natural eyes. In shock. Vivian's panting voice floated into my ears faintly. Brother Zhu. Since I have accompanied you to play nude cycling and outdoor sports, can I be your girlfriend? Jason's fat all over his body trembled. He smiled extremely obscenely. When you trick Arya to let me sleep with her, I will let you be my girlfriend. Then he pulled away Vivian and joined another two-person group. Vivian stomped her foot angrily and turned and squeezed into the team. A group of people were having a great time. The sound of police sirens roared. And then a group of policemen jumped out of the car. The lewd scene in front of them made a young policeman vomit directly. Group scenes. Arrest them all. As an eyewitness, I was also taken back for questioning. But because I had been live streaming all the way, the audience in the live broadcast room could prove my innocence. Finally, the policewoman who questioned said, You and Vivian are roommates. right? Do you know that she is going to participate in nude cycling? I nodded. I know. At that time, all of us in the dormitory were advising her not to go. Later, she also quit the cycling team. I don't know why she suddenly went again. Alas. The policewoman shook her head. I don't know what young people are thinking now. How could they do such things in broad daylight? At this time, a young policeman hurried in. Many of those people are AIDS carriers. The policewoman frowned and looked at me. You can go first. When I walked out of the gate, I still heard Vivian's arrogant voice. Do you know who he is? Why don't you let us out quickly? The policeman laughed angrily. Who is he? He is just a wretched man who pretends to be a rich second-generation person. Who can he be? You don't know how many people have been cheated of money and sex. Be more careful. Vivian screamed in disbelief. Impossible. You must be lying to me. Captain, quickly ask your family to bail us out. I don't want to go to jail. If today's matter is exposed, won't my whole life be ruined? The policeman sneered. Do you know that your life will be ruined at this time? When you were mixing with these AIDS carriers. Why didn't you think that your life would be ruined? The 3 words, AIDS, gave Vivian a heavy blow. She was directly stunned. She subconsciously retorted, impossible. But when she saw Jason lowering his head and not saying a word, her head exploded. Jason, I'll kill you. She threw herself on Jason and punched and kicked desperately. I was too lazy to watch the good show anymore and turned and left the police station. Although the live video has been deleted, there are recordings and screenshots all over the internet. The identities of all those who played nude cycling have been uncovered. Even more powerful netizens restored Vivian's account and uncovered that she was the one who slandered me at that time. And Jason's history of AIDS was also completely exposed. Countless girls who were cheated by him jointly sued him in court. The school directly expelled Jason, Vivian, and several students who damaged the school's reputation. Even if they are released from the police station, they have already been completely socially dead. The nude cycling incident caused a great uproar in the school. But as the incident passed, everyone gradually forgot about this matter and turned to new hotspots. My roommate mysteriously held her phone and said to me, do you know? Vivian and Jason were arrested for group licenses. I heard that as soon as they were released, Vivian found out that she was expelled. After going for a checkup and finding out that she was infected with AIDS, she directly stabbed Jason to death at the entrance of the police station. Vivian was also rearrested and sentenced. I raised my eyebrows and showed a sincere smile. That's really retribution for good and evil in the end.